Chest up, shoulders back. Welcome to Revival Fitness, everybody. Here with a rare midday video. And the following clip that you're about to see is going to scar you for life when it comes to the bench press. So I saw this on my IG feed. I had to react to it. I see so many clips go viral over and over of these unsafe lifting accidents. Recently, we saw the one that was fatal, okay? A lot of stuff is going wrong in these gyms, man. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. Some people are jerks and they might deserve it, but most people are just good soldiers trying to get their lifts in. And this is a relatively long video, guys. It's like over a minute long. He was struggling for that length of time. So we're going to go through bit by bit and break this down to ensure that you hopefully don't suffer the same fate this guy could have. He got very lucky in this instance, but most people are not going to be so lucky. Okay, so right off the bat, he lowers with pretty good control. He kind of bounces it at the end there, and you're going to see this is evidently too heavy for him. I can't tell if this is 405 or what it is, but it's too much. All right, now do you guys see at this point right here? When the bar falls on you guys, or I should say when it lowers down on you, it's evident that you're not going to press it back up. You see here how he just kind of holds in this position. Think about this just logically, guys. If the bar is here, and your head is here, and your feet are here, you want the bar going this way. Okay, you want the bar moving away from your head as much as possible. All right, I would much rather have some rib injuries, maybe pull a muscle in the stomach or something, than guillotine myself or potentially maim myself for the rest of my life. So that's the first thing, guys. If this ever happens to you, and his form, again, is not bad. If he was doing like flared elbow bench or guillotine bench or some of this nonsense you see, yeah, this probably would have ended his life. All right, but you can see his elbows are tucked. He has good control over the bar for the most part. But his first issue is that he simply holds it in this spot. I've made a video in the past, guys, I'll link it in the pinned comment below, how to do the roll of shame. Now, given how heavy this weight is, I don't know if he could do the roll of shame, but you need to begin moving the bar as rapidly as possible away from the face, closer to the hips, the legs, and then you can try to get it off of yourself there. And I saw a lot of people on IG comment this too. This is why you don't bench press with clips. I understand that, guys. If you're going to bench this heavy without a spotter, I guess that makes sense. In most circumstances, though, I do not recommend that you bench press without clips. Maybe for a heavy 1RM like this by yourself, I get it. Also, quick note too, I talk about this all the time. No safety arms here. Guys, I don't care if you have to wait 30 minutes or spend $200 on safety arms. That is a small price to pay, okay, to potentially save your life. But the reason I don't recommend that you remove the clips, barring rare circumstances like this, is because for most people, myself included, your bench press is not going to be totally even. The bar is inevitably going to tilt due to imbalances in the shoulder, the chest, arm length discrepancies, potential scapula issues on one side. A lot of this stuff is genetic too, guys. You can do all the band work and all the foam rolling, etc. Most people are imbalanced by nature. Well, everybody is, some worse than others. I'm a good example of somebody who does all of that stuff. I've done numerous sort of prehab things in the past. My bench is still crooked. It is what it is. It's just how I lift. That's not inherently really dangerous, but if you lift without the clips on for, say, a regular set, 5 reps, 8, 10, whatever, there's a good chance that the bar can keep tilting the entire time, and you're not going to notice it because you're looking up at the ceiling flat on the bench. But if the weights begin shifting off your side where the arm tilts down, the bar could end up flipping on you mid-set. You could really bounce the bar into the wall or into a window. Really scary scenario. If you have like a pet, I see a lot of people post lifting footage and their dog is walking around. You guys realize you could maim Fluffy? Okay, I'm kind of joking about this, but seriously, you could decapitate your own pet. Fido's gonna get destroyed out here. So for the love of God, guys, if you're lifting heavy, maxing out or something, or really lifting in general, especially if you're not in the confines of a rack with safety arms, put your pet in another room. This is a side tangent, but that drives me crazy. These people are gonna get their pets killed. So you can see he's rolling it back toward his face. And every second, every microsecond you wait, guys, is not going to help your cause, right? Like I said a minute ago, you need to begin rolling that bar towards your feet as rapidly as you can and begin sitting up on the bench. He didn't do that. He sat there, he waited, he kind of looked around a little bit. That's precious time wasted. So now it's going closer to his head. And now it's essentially right on his neck. Take a look at his wrists too. His wrists are cocked backwards. There is no chance he's getting this weight to go forward in this position. So the one positive thing about this rack is that there's hooks on pretty much every level. It looks like here that he got the right side of the bar onto that hook, which is very good. Props to him for keeping the composure to do that. Now, the task is going to be getting the other side up into the hooks, which I don't think he's going to be able to do. Again, his wrist is cocked back. He's lost all strength, all bar angle. It's up here. There's no chance he's going to be able to get that side into the hook. Oh yeah, that's bad. You see this angle? He's like trying to get it there. Yeah, that's rough. Now he is rolling off of the bench, which you essentially have to, right? Desperate times, desperate measures type of thing. But ideally, you want to get this thing in the hooks from the onset. Now, what he could have tried to do, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this, but once again, this is not the ideal circumstance. What he could have done is once it was here, he could have essentially hip thrusted it and then just pushed it backwards to try to get both hooks in. That's definitely dangerous in its own right, though, because if you do that and you miss it, probably going to drop it onto yourself. But you commonly see whenever people fail the bench press, you can see this clip on the screen here, this infamous video. What happens whenever guys try to bounce their butt off the bench, right? Because they do that, the momentum pushes them backwards, the bar shifts out of the angle, it goes over the neck, and then if the safety arms fail, like this guy has these cheap little pieces of shit here, if that happens, it's the same thing, right? The same exact scenario. You try to rack it, you can't fully do it, then you're caught underneath it. It could crush your head and your neck. All right, so he got the one arm free. Now he's able to lift the bar a tad, which again, his composure here is very good. If he missed the hook on the right side, he's dead. Okay, so now the bench is turning into like an incline, it looks like. It looks like a pretty cheap bench. That's one of the tough things about waiting for safety arms if you're in a gym, because if you have to put a bench inside a squat rack, you're probably going to have to use one that has wheels on it or something. Luckily for me, guys, the gym I go to, their benches have just 4 pegs and they just push into the ground, so they're pretty flat. But even so, guys, a lot of these gyms too, the flooring is uneven, right? If you set up a bench inside of a squat rack, guys, or even anywhere where there's a free bench, not like confined to a bench press setup, I would encourage you to test it. Give it the old dad test, like push it, kick it, put your hands on the hips and say, that's not going anywhere. If need be, you can put like weight plates on the feet at the bottom. Maybe you can get an exercise mat so it's less likely to sway on the ground, things like that. All right, he's got it off of his shoulder, so that's progress. Okay, unless I'm missing something, it looks like he can just like kind of duck under it at this point, but is that a bar behind him? I can't fully tell. All right, he's trying to get it off of the ground. I'm guessing it's stuck on the ground. The look on his face here is great. I feel your pain, dude. Oh, and then the video ends. Okay, so evidently he must have escaped, or else this wouldn't have been uploaded, you would think. But this is a good example, guys, like I was saying, of all these things that can and will go wrong when bench pressing if you don't follow the basic precautions. Okay, so there's a pulley system back there, and then it looks like there's a barbell right behind him. I don't know if the barbell is pressing into the bench he's using, or if it's, maybe it's stationary. Maybe the barbell is actually on the lower rungs there. I'm not entirely sure, but this is a pretty jank-ass setup. So yeah, I'm guessing from this position he just, might have took him another 30 seconds or so, he was able to kind of just kayak or row the bar over his body and then slide out from underneath it. So like I was saying, guys, excellent composure on this guy's part. He's evidently pretty strong if he was trying this weight. Evidently too much for him, but he's probably a pretty strong dude based on at least this. So the composure was very good, right? He wasn't like flopping and kicking and screaming. That's one last note I'm going to make here, guys. If you ever are in a circumstance like this, do your best not to freak out. All right, there's another video I talked about recently where this guy's bench just snaps on him. Like literally snaps onto the ground, and he maintains his composure and somehow manages to get the bar back up onto the rack. But that's not guaranteed, guys, especially if you're not an experienced lifter. Your base isn't built, like your back is weak, your legs are weak. You're probably not going to be able to do that. So the biggest takeaways here, if you do fail a bench and you feel it come down on you, the first thing, roll it toward the feet. As soon as it drops and touches your torso, you got to roll that bar forward as much as possible. Once again, you can look at my video in the pinned comment, how to fail a bench press by doing the roll of shame. I understand not putting clips on the bar. However, like I said, there's a lot of reasons why that can go wrong. I would not rely on that. Ultimately, guys, I would not attempt a max bench press, especially of this level, unless you have access to safety arms. It's literally that simple, or at least you have a spotter with you at the time. All right? So props to our dude here, but try not to let this happen to you. But thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you want to see next down below. Thank you, as always, to the Patreon supporters. And I will catch you guys next time.